Welcome to another video. In this video, we will discuss about access control. Before we start this video, subscribe to this channel so that you can get future notifications. What is access control? Access control is prevention of unauthorized use. It is something when we give access to certain people for some file or some data and we give deny to some people those can't access that file. As we can see here, this is a user and this is the access control and this is the database and applications a user can use. So user have a password and ID from where he can, with the help of the authentication function, he can come inside the system. And what kind of files he can access, it can be decided by the security administrator. And what kind of files a user can access, that can be done by a security administrator. The authorization database, for example, if a user have an account on Amazon, so and he is want to buy some stuff from Amazon, so what kind of information he can access? For example, he can see multiple products and he can see the price and description about that products, but can he change the price of that products? So that depends upon what kind of authorization has been given to that account by the security administrator. Access control policies have different kinds. We have discretionary access control, mandatory access control, and role based access control. Before we discuss about policies, we can discuss about subjects, what kind of elements are in access control system. The first is subject. Subject can be anyone, a person, a owner, a group, a director. That is subject, the person who is using that service. Object is what kind of thing that is. It's a records, it's data, it's files, it's pictures, it's programs, it's multiple things that are objects. An access right, it means what a person can do with it. Like I just give an example of Amazon. If somebody login into the Amazon system, he can read the details of product and but he can't write inside that web server, so he don't have access. But the person who have made that website or company, they have access to write. So that is access right. So let's talk about discretionary access control. In discretionary access control, a person have access to that file. Other than that, that person can give the access to other people also. So in dictionary access control, a person can give access to others too. Let's take an example. When we use Microsoft Office, when we share one Word file with others with the help of a link. So what we generally do, we can decide over there what person or which person can see that file. So we can do with the help of a email or name, or we can go into the settings and we can put the person can only read it or can write it also. So this is dictionary access control. This is one of example for it. So in dictionary access control, the person can have access. Other than that, he can also give access to others. This is a DAC access matrix. In this we can see these are multiple users, A, B and C, and these are subjects like we have discussed in the beginning. The subjects are owner of that project, a user, a person who have access to that system. Objects are files, database, pictures, graph, softwares. These are objects. And here is the access. So a have user A on the file, and he can read, he can write the file one. But the user V can only read that file. So he don't have access to write, or he don't own that file. So if I talk about file 2, the user A don't have any access to this file 2. But the user B own that file, he can read it, he can write it. Similarly with the user C we can say he can read that file or he can write file A. But file 2, he can only read it, he can't write or he can't modify anything. So this is a access matrix. The second type is role-based access control. In role-based access control, it it depends upon what kind of role a person have. For example, there is a company. In a company, there is a director or CEO of that company. He have access to multiple systems and multiple files. For example, if you want to access finance data of that company, he can do it. If you want to know what's going on HR, he have access to that kind of files. And he wants to know what is happening in sales or marketing, he have access to that files and data. So depend upon what kind of role a person have, he can he can visit that files. But what is if person is working as a sales executive? In this situation, he can't have access to the files of finance or sales head or HR department. So in role-based access, the things goes according to role. Like we can see, this is role 1, this is role 2, this is role 3. The user 1 can act as a role 1, user 2 can act as a role 1 again. He have access to particular files. Similarly, in user 3 he have the role 4, so he can access that kind of files. Like this in this hierarchy we can see there is a director. So director have project lead and project lead 2, and so the director can access to the files those belong to project lead 1 and project lead 2, and project lead 1 can access the file those belong to production engineer 1 and quality engineer 1. Similarly, project lead 2 can access file to project production engineer 2 and quality engineer 2. So in role based access control, the things are based on hierarchy. What kind of role you have in companies, you have access to that kind of files. But the problem with the role based access control is the higher hierarchy person, for example director, can see everyone's file but nobody can see director file. So in role based access control, the advantage mostly have the person who is in the top of hierarchy. The person or those are in bottom, they don't have much rights in role based access control. The third is mandatory access control. In mandatory access control, there is a multi-level security. These mandatory access control basically used in military or secret services, where there are two things: no read up or no read down. For example, if the person is classified as confidential, he can read the file. The person who is classified as restricted or unclassified. Similarly, the person who is classified as secret can read the files of the person classified as confidential or the person is classified as restricted. no write down. In this, if the person is classified as secret, but he cannot modify the files of confidential, the person classified as confidential, he can't do it. Why he can't do it? Because if the person classified as secret, if he edit the files of confidential person, the person classified as confidential, basically he can leak the information down the hierarchy. So it's not accessible in mandatory access control. Thank you to watch my video.